You tune into the Sportscast with Brian, Craig, and Jeff. Give you all the sports news you need. We give you outspoken thoughts about all the headlines. We talk baseball, football, hockey, and more. No matter the topic, we cover it. Get ready for the show and keep it outspoken. Keep it outspoken. We keep it outspoken only on the Sportscast. Tune into the Sportscast with Brian, Craig, and Jeff. Give you all the sports news you need.
Hey guys, welcome into the Outspoken Sportscast. We got your episode today, 168 Headlines Edition. Craig is back on Fridays. Craig, good to have you back, brother.
He's back.
He's back. Well, today we got your top games of Week 10. We got your NCAA power rankings. Not power rankings, it's just the rankings. We got your schedule, of course, too, for the NCAA to get you ready for this weekend. What games you're going to watch. We got you an NBA update and some headlines, guys, right on the other side of this. All right, guys, welcome in. Outspoken Sportscast here for you. We got you the headlines edition. Today we're going to jump into the top 10 games of heading into Week 11 of the NFL. I can't believe we're already there, Week 11. I like to go through on Craig and just give what I think is going to be the top matchups of the week. The best game this weekend is going to be the Cowboys versus Vikings. I don't know if there's really any argument there as far as down the schedule. Big game. This is a big game for more, I think, on the Cowboys than Minnesota. The Cowboys have got to prove that they can get back on their winning ways. They've got to prove that they can beat a good team. Minnesota has been fantastic this season so far. And we both picked Minnesota to win this game, but the Cowboys need this win more in Minnesota.
Yeah, definitely. They need to prove they can stop the run too. And Dalvin Cook is a guy that has given most teams havoc. And since the Cowboys can't stop the run, Dalvin Cook might have to have a field day. So if you can stop the run, I mean, they beat this team before. They know how to beat them. They beat them last year.
When they're back up, they beat them
in Minnesota with Cooper Rush. I don't want to hear that. Stop right now. I can already tell people are going to text me and tell me that he should play this game because he beat them last year. I'm just over it.
A little sore spot there.
Yeah, okay. And so I just Zeke's trash, Dak's trash, just the whole roster's trash, but they can win 10 games. I don't know. But yeah, it's definitely more important. I mean, Minnesota's got a 19-game lead in the division. I mean, they may already be division champions. I don't know.
Green Bay second, 4-7. So yeah, the division's wrapped up.
Yeah. So it's much more with the Eagles' loss and everything like that. It's and then playing the Giants, turning around and coming back and playing the Giants on a week. You're going to have a very tough road. This was a very 3-game stretch that could have gone either way. It was going to kind of make or break the season. So,
well, and you'll be a Packers fan next week as Packers take on the Eagles next Sunday night. So,
if they look like they did last night, then it doesn't really matter. Yeah.
We got Chiefs versus Chargers. I thought this one was interesting, depending on what Chargers team shows up. You're at home in LA, which doesn't mean much. They have no home field advantage. What Chargers team is going to show up is really going to depend on how good this game is or not. And
all 7 Charger fans. Woo!
yeah, it's going to be a sea of red out there.
Yeah, and I just
The
don't
red
think,
wave out there at the LA Stadium.
I just don't think Kansas City. I honestly don't know if Kansas City will lose again this year. They've with Buffalo losing, and now they are in the driver's seat for home field. And having the tiebreaker loss with Buffalo, they're knowing what their deal, and they are just super excited about this Kadarius Toney. Travis Kelce's like, I don't know how he got out of New York, but I'm for just stoked that our GM went over there and got him. This guy's a stud. So I think the attitude problems and stuff Toney had was just simply with management there. I don't think it was maybe like it. It seems to be like he's a different guy, and they may have just fallen into another stud wide receiver. So we'll see.
They're going to need him this week because Juju Smith's out, and so is their second wide receiver. So Toney, I mean, obviously he doesn't have a lot of highlights with New York, but if you look at his college, this guy's made of rubber bands.
He looks Dallas like up 2 years ago. He had a career game.
He looks like he should have tore his ACLs in some of these moves he was making, and he looks really cool, really good, and elusive. And if anybody can turn him around, it's Andy Reid and the Chiefs. So hopefully, hopefully
Mahomes,
not.
Get in the huddle. Come here.
Yeah, hopefully not, but we'll see. We'll see if he has a good game this week.
Yeah.
49ers versus the Cardinals, depending again on what Cardinals team shows up. I think the 49ers win this game pretty easily, but this is a Cardinals team that's backs against the wall. You have your head coach on the hot seat. There's some drama going on. We all know that there in Arizona. And same thing with the Chargers. I feel like there's going to be changes made at the end of the season. But I think we got 49ers win this one too. I just think Cardinals can pull out that game every now and then that they'll pull up an upset. And you go, okay, well, there's the potential that some people, not me or you, thought they could have, but we both picked the 49ers to take that one as well. And then the last one I got is Bengals versus Steelers. Steelers won a game last week. It was the rookies. What's his face?
Pickett.
Kenny Pickett. I wanted to say Pitts. He's from Pittsburgh. But he won his first game last week, and the Bengals and Steelers is always a rivalry, just not punch you in the face kind of game. Yeah. And TJ Watt's back. He was back last week, so interested to see how they're going to protect Joe Burrow or not protect Joe Burrow in that one. I didn't see anything else. You got the Bills and Browns. This should not be this should not be a hard game for the Bills. But they got to get back on their winning ways. The way they lost last week, and then they lose the week before. They dropped 2 in a row, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and you lose home field advantage by the snowstorm, and so Detroit gets another game, and then Buffalo doesn't have to. Detroit's really getting the shaft on this deal because now Buffalo doesn't have to travel. They're already going to be in Detroit and can just stay in a hotel and practice in the facility for a week. I don't know how they're going to do that, like where they're going to find a way to practice with the Lions practicing. So, like, I don't know how that's going to work. But they play the next 2 games in Ford Field. And so, because they play the Lions on Thanksgiving. So they don't have to leave. They don't have to move. They don't have any travel. So that's kind of a bad break for Detroit. Detroit's going to go on the road and then travel back, and Buffalo's getting a home game in Detroit and doesn't have to travel to the short week. Like, seems like it's not fair, but oh well.
Yeah. I saw pictures already of their stadium up there in the snow, and you can't even see the seats in the stadium.
No, yeah, they said 6 foot.
That's how already.
They said Nick Chubb's 5'11" and Devin Singletary's 5'7", and they were like, how are we going to do this? Like, we can't. Our running backs, it's over their head.
So yeah, they moved it there. I mean, I would love to see that game. That'd be insane. But they did it for safety and for the
Yeah.
players, for the people traveling to the game. It makes it's just a smart
There was
move.
nobody going to be in that stadium, not with 6 foot of snow on the ground. I mean, the Buffalo Bill fans are crazy. Bills Mafia is crazy, but they ain't that crazy.
Yeah, that's just absolutely asinine. We saw 6 feet here in Texas. I think we'd all be dead and wouldn't know.
Oh, yeah.
It just
Ice-Again hit last year. We didn't leave the house for 10 days.
yeah. That work week was the next week was super
Supposed
fun.
to have snow flurries tonight. That'll be fun.
Get out of here.
That's what they said. I mean, they're not going to stick to nothing because it was 70, but
Oh, that's your look into the NFL week this week. What games are you guys going to watch? I'm going to be tuned into that Minnesota Cowboys game. Definitely, I got to put the Christmas lights up this weekend, and I said I got to watch that game. It's going to be a good one. So, NCAA rankings, baby. Georgia's number 1, Ohio State's number 2, Michigan number 3, and number 4, my TCU, baby. Let's go. Do they stay there? Hopefully. We got Tennessee at 5. I forgot to mention that. I have to do the top 5. Alabama's not there. It's always great to see them not there in the top 5. Michigan number 3, Craig. That's your team.
Michigan or Ohio State's going to be out.
Yeah, be out
because they're going to play each other next. I think it's next Saturday.
I didn't see it this week.
It's normally after. It's right around Thanksgiving. I think it's the Saturday after.
Yeah, that's going to drop out. And
Michigan plays Illinois this week. Actually,
I try to find them all go, but I don't see where Michigan's on the schedule.
Okay, Michigan, Ohio State. It's Saturday the 26th.
Okay.
So it's next Saturday, or a week from Saturday, a week from tomorrow.
They say if TCU wins out, they got Baylor this week. They should beat them easily, and they should stay in the top 4. The resume says
because it's going to help because, like I said, 2 or 3 is going to go down.
Yeah.
So if they win, they'll go up, and they're going to have to face. I don't know who they're going to face on the other side of the Big 12. Maybe Oklahoma again, maybe Texas again. I don't know.
I think this is best case scenario. Do I think TCU is going to go in and win the national championship? No, I don't think they're a good enough team to beat Georgia, to beat Ohio State, to beat. I don't even think they beat Alabama. Maybe not Tennessee.
I don't think they beat Michigan.
They probably don't beat Michigan. But what a run we've had this season, man! It's been fun. I can't tell you the last time TCU's been in the top 5.
Yeah, well, they a couple times they get down to the end and then lose a game at the end. Yeah. But Baylor a couple years ago got screwed. The Big 12 just doesn't have enough competition in it anymore. It should with Texas and Oklahoma and all that, but they've been down for so many years that the Big 12 is the one that seems to be holding Cinderella's shoe at the ball because the Big 10 and of course the SEC, they always get 2 teams out of there, and they're trying to find a way. They're trying to manipulate a way for Alabama to somehow back its way in here just for ratings purposes, and I don't think they're going to be able to do it. But we'll find out.
We'll find out.
You got to go to Baylor, and so that's not an easy place to play.
It's not, and Baylor is a talented football team. I really feel like TCU needs that game that they can just put a whomping.
They do. They need to not only need to beat Baylor, they need to just run away and
they don't
by 21, by 28, they need to make a statement. And the Texas game, they at halftime it was 3-0. So I mean, in the Texas game, they were underdogs. They were 7-point underdogs going in. That's crazy to me.
That was insane to me too, and disrespectful. And
absolutely.
This season, their track record, they've beat 4 ranked opponents. But a lot of these games, they find themselves behind at halftime, and they got to battle back. I want to see TCU come out and just smoke with Baylor off the bat and never let up the lead. I don't know if they're
got a very good defense.
The defense was outstanding last week. Their offense struggled last week. 17 points. That was a struggle. It was really 17-3 if they don't fumble the snap. But yeah, this season's going to be looks to be pretty good. I'm always great. It's always great to see Alabama not there, and hopefully they don't find their way in. But well, let's look at the schedule this week, Craig. Let's see what games we're going to take a look at and watch this week. Down below here, later games. Let's see. Well, TCU and Baylor.
Alabama, Auburn.
TCU Baylor played at 11 a.m. in Baylor. Alabama and Austin PV. I don't even. Who is that?
No, Alabama plays Auburn. Oh, that's the 26th. I'm sorry.
I was just say not this week. They don't. There's an easy win for Alabama.
Yeah. Austin PV.
I don't even pay or
yeah.
Never even heard of that. Okay.
No.
Georgia plays Kentucky. Ohio State plays Maryland. There's
Notre Dame, Boston College.
Let's see. Texas, Kansas, unranked. That should be a good game, though. Kansas has played pretty good this season. The game
Georgia
that
plays Kentucky. I don't think that's going to be a deal. Miami, Clemson.
Ole Miss, Arkansas, number 14. Arkansas is unranked. Ole Miss is number 14, but they always play each other pretty well. And then below it, you got Oklahoma State. Oklahoma. What's the other one I was looking at? There it is. Utah, number 10.
Georgia and Oregon
at 12. Yeah. Georgia and Oregon State.
Not Georgia
maybe?
And Oregon. Utah and Oregon. And then Georgia and Kentucky.
There's the game I'm looking for. USC versus UCLA.
Yep.
Those are your main games. USC and UCLA could be good. I think that might be an upset.
It always is. Yeah, they play each other real tough.
Texas, Kansas. The big dogs pretty much have an easy victories. The top 5 there. Michigan should kill Illinois. So some decent football games this weekend, though, I'd have to say. Did you hear that story, that rumor that that I think Charles Barkley tried to spread it, that Texas A&M was going to fire their head coach and go out and get Deion Sanders? Wow. Talk about a splash move there.
Yeah.
And I think it'd be interesting to see because Texas A&M is a great they had the best recruiting class this year, but they've had quarterback injuries, and it would take millions. How much millions would it take to get Jimbo Fisher out of there? I mean, what are we talking? Was it?
Oh, the buyout's got to be high.
Yeah,
I mean, it's got to be somewhere similar of what they're paying the head coach down in Carolina. Rule. It's got to be a similar buyout because he's only been there. This is his 3rd season, I think.
So, yeah.
So yeah. I mean, it would be an expensive buyout, and then to pay another guy on top of it, I don't even know who you're going to get. I mean, Deion's not going to work for free. He's not going to cut you. He's not going to cut you a deal. He's going to want a paycheck when he does coach one of the top schools. He's going to want to be paid for it.
Yeah, I think that's quite a jump from Jackson State to Texas A&M.
Yeah. The level of competition is night and day, especially in the SEC.
But it's interesting because I think obviously people would want to play for him.
And, that's your recruiting tool right there.
Yeah.
Is we have Prime,
and he's a motivator. He's that. I see him as that. I could be wrong, but he's that motivational guy that. You want to run through the wall for
every guy. I mean, everywhere he's gone, they get good results from him. So
that'd be interesting if that happened, but we'll see. All right, well, we're gonna give you a little bit of a NBA update. We haven't talked much NBA because football rules the nation right now. So, if we just go look at the standings. Sorry, I didn't have this pulled up. Right now, the Eastern Conference seems to be a little bit stronger than the Western Conference. We have some teams struggling over there in the Western Conference. But Boston's 1, Milwaukee 2, Atlanta, Cleveland. 12-3 Boston Celtics, 11-3 the Bucks.
Yeah, I mean that's impressive. Boston with no head coach or an interim head coach.
Yeah, interim head coach and Giannis making his another run at the MVP. Cleveland's really coming out of nowhere. Last year they played really well together, and this year they're number 4. But if you look at the Western Conference, I mean Phoenix is second at 9-5.
Yeah.
So we got some struggle. I mean,
Utah's a surprise. They get rid of everybody, and they're 10-6.
Yeah, at number 4.
Yeah, Dallas struggled. They can't seem to get any continuity. God. They got the new guy down there playing center. He's great when he plays, but he doesn't play enough. He gets into foul trouble, and him and Luka are great together. Luka's averaging 40 a night, and they're not like. I mean, that's all they got. I mean,
they've got to figure it out.
Smith, all these guys are not. They can't get anybody to play defense. Their defense is horrible. I mean, they can't stop anything.
Well, last year they were playing really good defense.
Yeah, and now they can't.
They had 2 big men, and now they're bad. It doesn't make any sense. And what really frustrated me the other night is they set Luka because he's tired. He's dead tired because the Mavericks use him way too much. He's carrying the team on his back. And they play the Houston Rockets, who only at that point have won 2 games, and they can't beat them. They cannot beat the Houston Rockets without Luka. They lost that game. The starting 5 for the Mavericks only scored 24 points.
Yeah,
that is
and they
combined.
Rest Luka. Yeah, they rest Luka.
Yeah,
and they just couldn't do nothing. I mean, if he gets hurt, that team is not a playoff team.
No, and look, they kind of lucked into the Western Conference championship last year. There's no denying that they did. But for Mark Cuban to take basically the same team, except they added Christian Wood and whatever McGahee. Is it McGahee? What's his face? He's not really that good. But they didn't add nobody. They lost Brunson. They didn't add nobody, and for Mark Cuban to roll his team out here going, yeah, we have a shot again to get there. No, Luka Doncic is going to be dead by the end of the season because he's playing 40 minutes a night, and that he is on a MVP level right now. He's doing things people haven't ever done. He's out. He did start the year off averaging over 30 points a game, but my gosh, how much are they making this guy carry this whole team? It's crazy. And I switched over to be the Mavericks fan, but I never could stand Mark Cuban.
JaVale
McGee, there you go. I knew it was a what did I say?
McGahee,
there you go. I was close. Switching over to be a Mavericks fan, this is my one concern because he didn't ever help out Dirk Nowitzki the whole time he was here. Look, Green Bay, I'm already a fan of a team that doesn't help out their star quarterback, and now you got them not helping out Luka Doncic. It's really annoying.
He'll be gone. He'll be gone in a couple of years.
He won't stay. He won't stay. Why would you?
Yeah, no.
Clippers are struggling. Their Kawhi Leonard hasn't played maybe a handful of games all year.
He's coming back against Detroit today or tomorrow.
There's a problem there. There's a big issue with Kawhi's health.
Yeah,
he sits out a lot of games as is, and he's been injured last year. He's hurt a lot this year, and that team really thrives with him. And without him, I don't see them. They're going to struggle. It's going to be a struggle.
No, you need George and them to step up.
Yeah. And then remember, the Timberwolves were great last season. Right now, they're 7-8. They're not looking too well. And the biggest slumper is that the surprise is the Golden State Warriors. They went on to win a championship last year. I don't think they really lost anybody. And they seem to have, Steve Kerr was talking about it the other day. He said that they're hanging their heads low and, they have a pity party for themselves, and they got to get over it. And this is a team though that will make the playoffs, and when they face off against anybody, they're dangerous. But right now they don't look very good, and I just don't know what it is. Maybe it's that championship slump. Like, they were too high on themselves, and they
Lakers
started
are
off way too slow.
3-10.
Oh yeah, pathetic. It's time to blow that up.
Yeah.
Get rid of Anthony Davis. He's Mr. Street Clothes over there.
Yeah.
Brooklyn Nets 7-9. Miami Heat 7-8. Philadelphia 7-7. The Knicks are 8-7. There's been a lot of mediocre basketball right now, and that's just like the NFL this year. A lot of mediocre play. We're still early off in the season for basketball, so these teams can turn it around. Portland leads number 1 in the Western Conference at 10-5. So, yeah, there's your NBA update. There's not a whole lot there right now. We're still pretty much brand new into the season, but if they don't get it together over there for Dallas Mavericks, and they're going to find themselves on the outside looking in. Headlines, Craig. Play the headlines intro, please, sir. All right, guys, it's going to be a pretty quick episode. I think I go a little bit longer on myself on Friday sometimes. We have your AL and NL MVP awards. Goldschmidt got it from the Cardinals. What position does he play, Craig?
He plays first base. Yeah, and Machado was second. You had Arenado kind of take some votes. The guy that plays on the other side of the diamond from him on third. Cardinals had two guys, in the top 5 here. Mookie Betts got a couple votes for the Dodgers, but Goldschmidt had just had a bang up year. And
is that the best corners on any
it is 100%. And
right there.
And Arenado's just opted back in, so he's there for the next 5 years. And just it's very, very solid. Goldschmidt was a beast in Arizona. I mean, when he was in the Giants division, I hated seeing that guy 27 times a year because he just owned their pitching. I mean, he hits a baseball and it's just like, oh my God, like where, but he hasn't been able to stay healthy. And he finally put a season together where he was healthy, and that's exactly what you get is here he is, the MVP. And they're defensively, they're both Gold Glovers, they're both MVP candidates. So while the Cardinals are losing Pujols and Molina and Wainwright, they're still going to be really fun to deal with because that talent level over there is just great.
And they consistently
are one
of the best major league franchises.
Spend money and keep their team competitive and what they did. That's a class organization. I know people in Texas don't like them because of the World Series, but in 2011, but
we don't talk about that on this podcast, Craig.
But
Freeze. Who do we don't like? I mean, the Cardinals. I mean, sour taste in the mouth, but in all respect, Albert Pujols and they were.
But what they did as an organization to bring those guys back, and let them have final seasons and everything like that. That to me is deal.
They saw a cool picture the other day that had it was like Albert Pujols handing the torch off to Goldschmidt.
Yeah,
and like, hey,
that's exactly what it is. Him and Arenado. And it's gonna be solid right on. It's just gonna keep rolling. The train's just gonna keep rolling. So it'll be interesting to see what free agency brings. There's a lot of talk of where these big names are going to sign. Some of them are already deal. MLB's looking into the Mets and the Yankees about Aaron Judge and some of the things they've done if they violated CBA, protocols and stuff like that. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. It looks like the Dodgers are going to non-tender not Seager, but the other guy, their other MVP candidate.
You're not talking about Freeman, are you?
No. The used to play shortstop, plays outfield. I just read it.
What are they doing with him?
They're going to non-tender him, and Cody Bellinger. They're going to basically make him a free agent. They're not going to pick up an option on him, and Cody Bellinger is going to be a free agent, and that's a big name. He's struggled the last couple of years. He had some injuries, and after the MVP season, he just really struggled. But when I say that, he hit some big homers in the playoffs last year that got him to the World Series, and although they didn't win,
I'll take him.
yeah, 100%. And so we'll see. Free agency. I love this time of year because hot stoves come up. You got guys moving already. Urshela got traded to the Angels today. I'm not exactly sure what they're doing there because he plays third base, and you've already got a third baseman. So that you got from the Nationals a couple years ago. So I'm not real sure what they need Urshela for, unless they're going to move on from that big contract already. He hasn't been real successful. So that would be from Anthony Rendon. If they're going to move on from Rendon already, then that would be a shocker. He's only been there a couple seasons. They gave him a max contract. They gave him a bunch of money. And
he's been underachieving there big time.
He has been. He's been disappointed since he's been there. I mean, that's kind of what the Angels do. The Angels sign these free agents, and they disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
They signed Josh from the Rangers. They
Hamilton and Pujols.
Pujols was already over the hill when they signed him to this big deal. And so that's what they do. They give out these big contracts, and when the guys get there, they can't put it together. And that's why you've had the best player in baseball so far for the last decade and haven't been able to make the playoffs but one time. And then they got swept that year. So, but yeah, free agents will be interesting to see. The managers of the year in Showalter and the rookie of the year for the American League, Rodriguez. Those guys, I mean, those were shoo-ins, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
And then we have Judge as your MVP for the AL, and with the year he had, the home run record that he broke.
Yeah, it was almost should have been almost unanimous. I don't know who else.
It would have been Shohei Ohtani would be the other one.
Yeah, and people are enamored with the both sides of the ball, and that's great. That's great. But
he's doing things that Babe Ruth didn't even do. So he's doing things since then. So it's interesting to see, and then that's just.
And it is, and I'm not sure how much longer he stays in Anaheim. At least one more year, but
hopefully not much longer.
But yeah, it's.
I'll take him in Texas. Come on, baby, let's go.
And it's interesting. So, and then of course, I don't know if you read Bryce Harper's having UCL surgery, so that could be. They don't know if it's going to be Tommy John or not. If it is, I believe he will still be able, since we have the universal DH now, that even if Tommy John, he can still be the DH because he doesn't have to throw. I believe when Ohtani had Tommy John, that they let him hit still. And so
they did.
And so he just wouldn't be able to play the outfield and throw. So that would mean that Nick I'm drawing his name. But
you're bad with names tonight.
Yeah, I am. That that he would have to play all the time in the outfield because he is Castellanos.
Oh yeah.
Castellanos would have to play the outfield because he's their DH.
And
He's a
find
defensive
someone,
liability. He's a defensive liability out there.
and they could find someone in the free agency pickup maybe to cover that spot for that time being.
But instead of missing a whole season like he would have before,
yeah,
at least he'll be able to hit and help the team that way. He probably will miss a little bit of time, depending on when he has the surgery. If he has the surgery right away, then might be okay. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what he must have played the World Series with a bad UCL. And speaking of that, that's insane that Josh Allen, that's just gone away. Like he's not even on the injury report this week.
He's just like, I'm good.
Yeah. So I don't know what kind of medical staff they got in Buffalo, but they're working miracles over there. Guys in the major leagues got to go see the medical staff in Buffalo because they're making UCLs go back to normal here. So, yeah, it's interesting.
Did you see? I just saw something that says Commanders discipline players for drinking on a plane. Washington Commanders discipline a handful of players for violating the league rule about drinking on a team plane, but the league will take no further action. I didn't know it was against the rules to drink on a plane. I guess they were celebrating their rule. It says, was it a team rule? It says NFL rule.
Oh. Yeah, well, that to me
for violating a league rule.
That to me is on Ron Rivera. If that's a rule and you know that, then you can't allow that stuff to happen as the head coach.
How did they get alcohol on the plane? What I mean,
they're private planes. I mean, they're not flying, United.
Oh yeah,
they don't just walk it through the gate.
But they fly. It's got to be the same plane they take.
No, yeah.
Think there would be.
Sure, they just put it in their bags and just said we're celebrating tonight. We just beat the Eagles and we're getting crunked on the way home, and that's exactly what they did.
It's gonna be a little.
Rivera didn't stop.
That's it.
Well, yeah, but Rivera didn't stop. He has no control over that team over there. They just do what they want to, and that's why he probably won't be the head coach next year.
I like Ron Rivera.
Well, no, I like him as a head coach, but he's not in Washington. I mean, I don't know if it's the Snyder deal. I don't know what it is.
It's just no one can coach in Washington. I mean,
yeah, and that's a very fair point. But he's had no respect from the time he walked in the door. He came in the door and he took the pool tables and ping pong tables out of there, and the no fun rule. And the team was just like, who's this guy? Who's this clown? He came in here and took our ping pong tables and pool tables. What is this guy? And so he didn't start off on the right foot. And he hasn't had any success with Wentz, and now he's got Wentz that's trying to come back. And he's saying that Taylor Heineke is going to be the starter this week. There's turmoil.
You've got to stay Heineke.
And I get it. But why didn't you just give Heineke that opportunity? Why'd you go and trade for Wentz and try to bring him in? Just Taylor Heineke won you a playoff game last year and almost beat Tom Brady a couple years ago. Give the kid his chance. I mean, he's not going to be a Hall of Famer, but he can win some football games.
Better than Rush, or
I would have said yes. I would have said yes before this year, but and I don't. Rush's winning percentage was better, but if you look at his stats and you look at the way he threw the ball, Taylor Heineke is a better quarterback. He's very accurate.
Heineke.
Yes, he's accurate. He throws the ball down the field. He's not scared of anything. He will step up in the pocket and take a hit. I mean, the kid took a drill shot the other day and got up and played another down. And so to me, I mean, I don't think, again, I sound like I'm beating a dead horse here, but 32 teams did not think Cooper Rush could hold a clipboard and never signed this. He was on waivers and cleared waivers. I don't think if you put Taylor Heineke on waivers today that he makes it through 32 teams. Somebody would snatch him up. And so that's the way I look at it. The Cowboys knew that nobody was going to snatch Cooper Rush up. That's why they didn't roster him.
Yep, you're exactly right. All right, moving on to the next thing here we got for you. Titans OC, offensive coordinator Downing, arrested for DUI after their win last night. They beat Green Bay, and this guy said, "I'm partying right now," partied it up, drove home, and got arrested for DUI. Not a good look for Tennessee.
No.
I'm sure
That's
they
exactly
will.
what happened to Andy Reid's son. They won a football game. He goes out to dinner, has drinks, and then blasts into that car coming off the exit ramp.
Killing
And
him.
you know,
Which he only got 2 or 3 years in prison for. I think it was some. It was. I was like, he murdered somebody, and
he didn't murder him. She's still alive, but her life is
she?
Yeah,
Oh, that's right.
but her life is
okay.
dramatically changed.
Well, it still should be more than what he got,
100%.
but in my opinion,
the prosecution was going for the max, so that is
no.
a extremely disappointing sentence to only be 2 or 3. I didn't hear that.
The good thing is that Kansas City has stepped up and they're paying for her for the rest of their life, paying for the compensation. Let me look up and see how many years he got. I think it might have been more than that. I'm not sure. I think it, but it. I thought he had killed her. I forgot that she's not. I don't see it on here, but anyways, all right. I don't want to get dragged in too much of that. The last one we got here for you is the Bills move the game to Detroit. We talked about that a little bit because of Snowmageddon up there in the north. So we hit on that a little bit earlier. They play Detroit for Thanksgiving. They're going to be able to stay there in Detroit and kind of not have to travel for that. So that's nice for them. But I'm praying for those people up there and dealing with the snow. That's seems like one of those crazy situations. And hope you guys stay warm because I couldn't deal with that. That's whoo. I don't want those 6 feet of snow. I don't know about you, Craig, but I'll pass on that.
He received 3 years instead of the max 7.
Yeah, seems a little light.
That's disappointing. You can't play a football game under those conditions. I understand home field advantage. I get it. But Buffalo's making out of this deal, like I said before, because they're playing back-to-back weeks in Detroit. So they're not going to have – all they got to do is find a place to practice. Detroit's got to go play a road game and then travel back for the short week. Buffalo will already be there. So they're making out on the deal. Not that they were going to have a lot of trouble with the Lions on Thanksgiving anyway, but you can't play in 6 foot of snow. When your running back's 5'11" and the other running back's 5'7", you can't play in 6 foot of snow. There's no way the grounds crew could have made that field playable in any kind of timely manner. There's no way like you said, when you look at the stadium, the seats are already covered. There's no way that they could have got that stadium in
no
way to play by Sunday.
We didn't talk much about it. The Packers lose last night, Thursday Night Football, 27-17. I thought that the Cowboys game and big win was going to catapult us to winning some games, but it was absolutely wrong. We went to looking like garbage. Aaron Rodgers admitted to playing bad, took this loss on him. The Packers booed him off the field last night. He missed wide open wide receivers time and time again and just looked bad. So,
on a plus side, Christian Watson caught 2 more touchdown passes last night, so he might remember how to catch football again.
Remember that. And he scored 5 touchdowns in 5 days.
Yeah.
The good news for Packer fans out there is
first 9 weeks couldn't catch a cold. Now he catches 5 touchdowns. So
yeah, the good news is Romeo Doubs. He's coming out this year. The way he's played, he's been one of, if not the best rookie wide receiver of this class so far. One of, not the best. One of. Olave's done really good there in the Saints, but he's one of the best. Top 5 probably. He's injured right now. Christian Watson continues to play like this. He's not going to score double-digit touchdowns every game, but that gives us progression for next season because this season's over. Stick a fork in them. We're done.
Ain't the way it plays.
Yeah, and Aaron Rodgers is like, oh, this one's on me, but we still got plenty of opportunity. Have you seen our schedule?
Yeah.
No, you do not. You went through the easiest part of the schedule, and
You
you
got to play
came out
the
of it.
Eagles. You got to play the Vikings.
Who else we play? We play the Eagles. We play the Vikings. We play. Who else we play?
Hopefully, you want to play Dallas again, but who you want to play?
We do, because we have your number. I don't know what it is. We have left. We have the Eagles, the Rams, the Dolphins.
Oh yeah, okay.
The
Tua,
Vikings.
you better hope. The only way to win that game is to go make him die on the field again because that's the only game they lost.
You better bust his head open.
Yeah, you better sling Tua to the turf because
we're not. I mean, I don't even know what our final record's going to be, but it's not going to be very good, and it's not usually
4-13.
Hey, we'll just switch the record. We were 13-4 last year.
Yeah.
Hey, whatever gets us the better.
Oh, well, you could be like some of these teams that get good draft picks, but they're trading them so that they go to the other team.
Whatever gets us the good draft pick, and we'll probably draft another quarterback.
Yeah, Lakers are 3-10. Could have the number 1 pick, and it goes to the Pelicans. Pelicans could make the playoffs and get the number 1 pick. Love it.
That's awesome.
So yeah, that's a bad loss. You thought you had some momentum, turn around in a short week, try to capitalize on that momentum, and now you wait 10 days and play the Eagles, and I don't know. We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. I don't think the Eagles are unbeatable, but the way we're playing, we're not beating. We're not beating.
4-5 Commanders just beat them, so
5-5 now.
Yeah.
All right, Craig. Well, it's that time to ask you now that we're back on Fridays. What's in your locker?
Don't really have anything going. 2:45 in the morning. Airport call to take my son to the airport to go fly to Hawaii. He's going
senior
with
trip or senior trip or
kind of birthday and senior trip from his godmother. She's taking him to Hawaii. Her mother lives there, and he's going there for Thanksgiving.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that's some roasted pig down there
in
Hawaii.
Bucket list. He went to the steak place without me. Now he's going to Hawaii. He's just checking all the bucket lists off. At 18, got his truck up and running. Got that inspected while I was on vacation. Shot 300 Wednesday night.
I saw that.
Yeah, number 7 is in the books finally. That avoided me for the better part of 2 years. So basically, it'll just be relaxing after that. Gonna go process some deer. I cut it up this weekend while I was on leave. I was on vacation, and then we're gonna take it over to my brother's and put it into hamburger and sausage and smoke it and everything like that, and get all that taken care of. And that's about it. Sunday, watch football and be ready for next week's whatever you want to call it, work week.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. If you got a truck.
Yeah. What about you?
This weekend, let's see. Tomorrow night, I got the Dallas Stars game. So
have fun with that.
That's gonna be awesome.
Like I said, bring your goal pads because we may need an emergency goalie after last night.
Yeah. I'll see what I can do. My neighbor's season ticket holders, and we were gonna go, me and him, but he found out it's my wife's birthday on the 11th of November, and he said, "Well, I'll just give her my seat." And so me and her going on a date tomorrow. The Stars game should be fun. It'll be He talked my wife out of the train, so we're driving.
Who talks it out of the train?
It
drops you off at the front door, bro.
He said, you got to wait 30 minutes. There's a lot of people, and it's crowded. Hey, I got free parking, and my wife is driving, so I don't got to drive to Dallas, and I'm fine with that.
Have fun with that construction.
Yeah, well,
And
we'll
the
see. I'll
traffic
let you.
leaving
I'll let you.
and the traffic leaving the AAC.
I'll let you know how it goes tomorrow.
Yeah, you will. You'll call me tomorrow night and be like, I should have took the train.
I should have took a train. You might be right, but we got 2 free tickets and free parking, so that's going to be fun tomorrow night. It's actually going to be my only second live
Dude,
Stars game to go to.
It's unbelievable. I don't know where you're sitting. I don't know what section you're sitting in, but it's unbelievable.
I think we're the second up, like the second.
That's where we sat, and I'm telling you, it's electric, dude.
I went when I was not a little kid, but I went when I was a little younger, and I remember how electric it was. I'm just excited to go.
These people scream during the national anthem.
So tomorrow's gonna be crazy fun. Yeah. I got some honey-do lists this weekend. I'm gonna get the Christmas lights up, maybe put the Grinch up in the front yard and get all that done.
Oh, you're gonna go stand in the front yard? Sweet.
All dressed in green and hairy. Yeah. And then we got, next week we got to get ready for Thanksgiving. And this time of year, I don't know about you, Craig, but this time of year kind of sucks for us because we've got to make up a whole day of work and other days. But it's a fun week. It's a fun week. I'm back downtown next week, so thank the Lord, because the Angels old route sucks.
I told you.
Oh my gosh, that route's terrible.
Why did I cross this same highway 6 times? I don't understand.
Terrible. Today, Berry Street lights were out.
Like a ping pong ball over 35. You're like, well, I just was over here.
I wanted to pull my hair out today. I was like, it takes me 30 minutes to go somewhere because, anyways, that's all pretty much got going on. We're actually hosting Thanksgiving this year. For my brother-in-law and my in-law, my mother and father-in-law, and my mom and dad are coming over, and
I'm going down to my parents' house. Just watch football and eat and come back. Because, of course, we both work on Friday and all the traffic, Black Friday, people shopping. Fun times. So,
all right, guys. Well, we will be back on Tuesday. So this won't be our farewell ending to Happy Thanksgiving just yet. But we hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week. Have a great weekend. Go catch some of those college games we talked about on the episode. Give you a little rundown there. Go TCU. I hope Michigan beats Ohio State. I hope they do for your sake there.
That's next weekend, but we'll see.
Yeah, that's next weekend.
They got to beat Illinois. You can't look ahead to Ohio State. Just take care of this week and then get to Ohio State and see what happens. I've never been impressed with their quarterback, but we'll see.
Yeah, Michigan's resume.
It will be in Ohio State this year, so that is a troublesome. We got to go to the horseshoe, and so we'll see. But I will be solid set in front of a television at 11 a.m. on the 26th. So,
do you like the 11 o'clock games, or do you like the 2 o'clock games?
I would rather. I think Michigan Ohio State should be played at 7:30 at night under the lights. And that has always bothered me, but it's always been the big noon kickoff, on the East Coast. But yeah, no, I think a game of that magnitude, they always play. Alabama, Georgia, Alabama, LSU always plays at 7 o'clock on TV under the lights. I think Ohio State and Michigan should be a prime time, slobber knocker every year. But they play at 11, and so that's fun. So we'll see. So we will see you on Monday. Enjoy the Stars game. You're gonna have a blast. So
it's gonna be super fun. I'm hoping to turn my wife into, not that she's not a hockey fan, but more into a hockey fan.
Yeah.
But all right, guys. Well, God bless, and remember,
keep it outspoken.